Once again, good morning, everyone. Can everybody hear me still on this mic as well? Okay, good. And welcome, Tomoko-san, to our morning service. We have one attendee live here, Tomoko-san from Wisteria Place. So we'll begin this morning's service with a moment of silent meditation, followed by the recitation of the name of the Buddha or the Onenbutsu. And while we're sitting quietly, if you could just try to contemplate on your breathing, and we're going to lower our center of gravity. Okay. Please join me in Gasho. No one knows, no one knows, no one knows, no one knows, no one knows. Okay, next we're going to have the reading of the Homage and Three Treasures. In the purple seiten, Tomoko-san, it's on page 10 or 11, page 11, I believe. Okay. Homage. Hard it is to be born into human life. Now we are living it. Difficult it is to hear the teachings of the Blessed One. Now we are hearing them. If we do not gain emancipation in the present life, we may not be free from sorrow in the ocean of births and deaths. Let us reverently take refuge in the three treasures. We go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. Everyone, we go to the Buddha for guidance. May we always walk in the way that leads to enlightenment. We go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. Everyone, we go to the Dharma for guidance. May we be submerged in the depth of the teachings and gain wisdom as deep as the ocean. We go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Everyone, we go to the Sangha for guidance. May we all with one accord live the life of harmony in the spirit of oneness, free from the bondage of selfishness. Even through myriads of kalpas, hard it is to hear such excellent and profound teachings. Now we are able to hear and receive them. Let us try to understand the Tathagata's teachings. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Next, we'll have the Suture Chanting, and we'll be chanting the Jusei-ge. Tomoko-san, did you take a red book? Red Seiten? If you take the red Seiten, because we'll be chanting the English as well. So in the red Seiten, the Jusei-ge in the red Seiten is on page 55. 55 of the red Satan. And for those of you at home, you can see it on your screen. Namandaps, 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 namandaps. Nagon chosega ishim jodo shiga manzok sev joshogak 가오 무려고 의다이세슈 의사이쇼빙에 세브조쇼각 가시조부드노 묘쇼저지모 극염이쇼모 세부조쇼각 리역진쇼네 조에슈봉요 시금저도 이쇼데니시 진리기엔다이고 부쇼무사이노 쇼조상금요 고사이슈야그나 가이지에게 메시고모아 해석쇼아그도 스다드젠슈모 보소조만족 이어러지모 니지가드슈주기 탱검부게 이슈가이호소 고세그도그오 조다이슈주 세모시시그 그여이사이붓 그속으슈도그호 간내시드조마 도그이상하요 녀부드무게지 스다드미흐쇼 강가그에니 도시사이쇼소 시간야고가 다이센모간도 고그쇼데니 도지묘게 가니시 no sei sai no zubo nai shi o jo no more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs. No more knobs, no more knobs. Now we'll recite this in English, chanted in English as well. Verses reaffirming the vows. In the red Satan, it's page 117. No more knobs, no more knobs, no more knobs. I have made unrivaled vows and will reach the highest path. If I fail in any way, may I not attain Buddhahood. Should I not provide to all for countless kalpas to come, aid in times of suffering, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will reach enlightenment, but unless my Buddha name resounds throughout the universe, may I not attain Buddhahood. I will practice a noble path, wisely, mindfully, free of greed. Seek to reach the supreme way. Be a guide to one and all. May my power shine great light to illumine and dispel the darkness of the three poisons and save all from suffering. With eyes of wisdom, I'll remove the darkness of ignorance. I will close all evil paths, open gates of highest good. When I attain Buddhahood, light will shine throughout all lands, light brighter than sun and moon, outshining all heavenly lights, giving my virtues to all, not forsaking anyone. I will proclaim the Dharma, like the roar of a great lion, bowing before all Buddhas, steadfastly gaining virtues, with wisdom fulfilling my vows. I shall be a guide to all, like the wisdom of my teacher. May my wisdom also shine all throughout the universe and illumine one and all. If I shall fulfill these vows, may all lands tremble with joy. From the heavens, wondrous flowers rain down upon all the land. The virtue of Amida's vow is shared equally by all, together attaining awakened mind. We are born in the land of peace. Naman ops, naman ops, naman ops, naman ops, naman ops, naman ops. So once again, welcome and welcome to our regular Sunday service. As hard as it might be to believe, this is actually my third service this morning. I was invited actually to be the guest minister for the Toronto Ho'onko. And the Dharma school started at 10:30 Eastern time, which was 7:30 our time. And their Ho'onko service started at 11 o'clock Eastern time, which is 8 o'clock our time. So this is my third service this morning so far. You know, having gotten up early this morning to join the services in Toronto, I was talking to my wife yesterday saying, it's good that, you know, I don't have to fly across the country to go to Toronto and join in the service. And yet, because of the time lag, you know, have to get up extra early this morning. And so my wife said, well, would you prefer having to go through all that traveling and still, when you think about it, I still have to wake up early to get to the Toronto temple in time for the morning service. So when I thought about that, I thought, well, when you think about all the hassles of traveling and spending the weekend out there, not that I don't like Toronto, just the hassle of traveling and staying in the hotel for, you know, a couple of days, etc. I guess it is much easier I just have to wake up early this one morning. So, but it was interesting because I'm going to share part of what I talked about at their Honko service. I noticed in this call that there were a couple of the members who had joined in the Toronto one as well. So for you, it might be a little repetitive at parts. But I'd like to, again, begin my talk by reading a passage from Shinan Shonin's Goasan, or the poems. And this comes from the hymns on the 7 patriarchs. So the 7 patriarchs, if you, can you see it on the back there? It's off to the far left of the altar. There's the 7 patriarchs. And this is pertaining to one of the 7 patriarchs. So if I can ask you, please join me in Gassho. Of those who encounter the power of the primal vow, not one passes by in vain. They are filled with the treasure ocean of virtues, the defiled waters of the blind passions, not separated from it. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Yesterday, I actually had, I conducted a funeral service yesterday for one of our members. He was 92 years old. And it was quite striking, actually, because I received an email on January 5th from his son. And in the email, it said that his father was admitted to the hospital on Boxing Day, December 26th. And when he was admitted to the hospital, they ran some tests and they found that he had cancer that had spread throughout his body, and that there was nothing more that they could do for him. And then it was a matter of time before he would pass on. And in fact, he passed on January, later on the day of January 5th. But in reading this email, it struck a chord with me because as some of you know, that I'm going through the very same thing. In fact, my Uncle Mac was admitted to the hospital on December 20th. And very similarly, when he was in the hospital, they ran some tests. And of course, he was found to have terminal cancer. Cancer was throughout his body. And he was put into palliative care. And now he's actually resting comfortably back at his residence at Maples. So as I was thinking about this, I started reflecting and thinking that, it appears that more recently or through the years, that there are more partings. We seem to be parting with more people than we are getting to know new people. I'm sure all of you can relate to this. It seems like we're somebody that we know is passing away quite frequently. And so it seems like we're doing a lot more partying. But in fact, when you think about it, it's neither more nor less, but it's actually the exact same amount, the number of people that you know and the number of people that you part with. Okay, in other words, you have to have known them to be able to part, right? So in dealing with this parting of loved ones, the Dharma teaches us of how we deal, how we get over, or how we live our lives, knowing that this parting is imminent. And in fact, the Dharma tells us this parting is a very natural part of life. And we are saddened when we part because it seems like a part of our existence is slowly diminishing. But when we think about the cycle of life and death, we realize that in fact, this has to be the way. Imagine, actually, you don't have to imagine. I was watching, I just happened to catch, I was home for lunch. I can't remember what day it was of the week, but there was a talk show program. I think it's called The Social or something. I just happened to, by chance, see it on the TV. And it was interesting. It caught my eye because the host was talking about a gentleman who is, he's set a target of living up to 150 years. Okay. And so one of the hosts, she was all for this. She said, you know, if we eat correctly and we exercise correctly, nothing stops us from living up to 150 years. And she was so enamored with this idea. And some of the other ones had contrasting views, but I thought to myself, would I want to live to 150 years old? And having seen what some of the seniors are going through, I don't think I really want to live to 150 years old. And imagine what it does to our world if we continue on living forever. You know, there is another organism that does continue to live on, and we call that cancer in biology, or in biological terms. So the cycle of life and death is in fact a natural cycle. There is nothing unnatural about it. And yet, when we think about our own lives, we don't want that impermanence. So the Buddha Dharma tells us that this cycle is a very natural process. And how can we accept this in a more natural way? In my talk this morning to the Toronto members, I was talking about the fact that actually this year, 2022, will mark my 30th year as a minister here in Canada. It was in October 1992 that I was our family moved to Toronto. And that's when I started my ministry, 1992. And so over those 30 years, if I think about it, let's just assume Sunday services, 50 services in a year. We'll take out a couple Sundays because of winter break or whatnot, but approximately say 50 services in a year. And I don't speak at every single service. I've had some other people, but let's say even if I spoke at half of the services, that would be 25 services in a year, right? And if over 30 years, 30 times 25, that's 750 Sunday Dharma talks, okay? And this is a very conservative estimate because I know I speak more than half the Sundays. I'm speaking, well, here I speak every Sunday almost. So if, let's say 750 Dharma talks, Sunday Dharma talks, and then if I include all the memorial services, funerals, and weddings, well, I can imagine it's probably well over 2,000 Dharma talks that I've given during that time. And if you've listened to even 1/3 of that, let's say, of the 200, or you probably listened to me talk about 700 times over the years. And so when I think about that, it kind of blows my mind that, you know, you've heard me complaining about how difficult it is sometimes to come up with new creative thoughts. But at the same time, I realize how difficult it must be for all of you to have listened to my Dharma talks 700 times. So that means, and I mentioned this morning, that I came to one of three conclusions. A, either you're the greatest groupies around that have continued to come on to join our services, or B, you're very forgetful and you need to listen to the Dharma over and over and over again, or C, that you're very dedicated and earnest in seeking the Dharma. And of course, we all know which is the right answer, and that is the fact that you are dedicated and determined. And I am grateful for your continued attendance and that we share in the Dharma together. But in sharing, it is not just us. It is the past history that have allowed us to be here. Today, actually, today is the actual date for Ho'onko, January 16th. Okay, it was said that Shinran Shoni passed away on January 16th, 1273. And so actually, So next year, they're celebrating or commemorating the 850th. I'm just trying to figure this out. Right? 850th memorial of Shinran Shoni, I think it was, next year, 2023, 773. Yeah, right. 1273. Yes, 850th memorial next year in Japan. But anyways, when we think about, so in the Dharma School session this morning, one of the things I did was I showed the picture of the present Gomon-shi-sama, Kojun, His Eminence Kojun Otani. If you saw the newsletter for January, his pictures on the front cover of our newsletter. But he is the 25th descendant of Shinran Shoni. And I was telling the kids, if you do that family tree equation of going up from yourself, and you have 2 parents, 4 grandparents, 8 great-grandparents, 16 great-great-grandparents, etc., and you count up all the people that existed in your past. In 25 generations, it came out to roughly 33,500,000 individuals. 33,500,000 individuals, right? So that many people existed for the Gomon-shi-sama to be here today, directly. And in fact, myself included, I have to attribute that many people as well, because I would not be here without Shinran Shoni. My family, my grandfather came over as a minister, my father was a minister. So without the temple, my grandfather would never have become a minister, would have never come over to Canada, and hence my father would have not followed suit, and I would not be standing in front of you. So when you think about that, 33,500,000 lives or people were directly involved in my being here today. And all of you actually attending service. Without those people, you would not be here. So it is a reverence that we pay not only to our past, but we see the interconnectedness also directly around us. As I mentioned, the interconnectedness of life, when I was talking to the Dharma School kids this morning, I was saying how here we are separated by a whole country, Canada, thousands of kilometers away. And yet at the same time, we were able to put our hands together in Gassho. And that showed how we were interconnected spatially as well. And so when we listen to the Dharma, it is telling us the naturalness of life and the interconnectedness of life. So yes, we will have the ebbs and flow of life, and people, loved ones will pass away, and our turn will eventually come. But in this ebb and flow of life, the naturalness of life, we realize that there is a greater oneness, and that is expressed to us through the compassion of the Buddha. And in receiving this compassionate view of the Buddha, we put our hands together in gratitude to recite Namo Amida Butsu, the name of the Buddha. So at this time, again, if I may ask you, please join me in Gassho as we recite the name of the Buddha. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu. Namo. So thank you very much for attending. Let me just, what happened here? There. Thank you all for attending. And this will conclude our morning service for today. If you wish to unmute yourself, you may do so. And
look at everybody.
So thank you, everyone. Arlene,
Thank you.
welcome. And I saw your wonderful video of you as a child.
That was a long time ago.
You looked very cute in that video. You don't have any recollection of that, do you? Or
No, can't remember.
for those of you that don't know, there was a video, I think a documentary by CBC, and they actually, part of the video talked about Steeston. And there's a scene where my grandfather is teaching the Japanese class, and Arlene has been selected to give orate or read a passage from the notebook.
Oh, that was Arlene.
There's footage of Arlene. You must have been what, about 7 or 8? I don't know how old you were.
Maybe 9 or 10. I don't know.
9 or 10. Okay, but very young Arlene, and if it wasn't for Jeannie pointing that out to me, I would have never guessed it was Arlene. But it's quite amazing because there's some footage of, there's a very brief footage of the Obon service at the Chatham Temple, was it? I think it was.
Yeah.
Probably. Yeah, so very interesting. If anybody wants it, I can, if it's okay with Arlene, I could send you forward to the link. So let me know if you would like to see this documentary. Okay. So thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Cynthia.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Take care.
Bye. Have a great day.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Bye, Grant.
Bye.
Bye, Kim.
Hey, Roland, you guys got home okay?
Yep. Yeah.
And have you, didn't you have service today or no?
No, because we're only having it once a month now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So just for Shotsuki. So hopefully we'll get going again. But you guys doing okay?
Yeah, we're doing okay here. Yeah,
Thank you for coming out and giving us a
Yes.
hand.
Oh,
Thank you.
no.
great help.
Thank you for everything while we were there. I'll maybe chat with you this afternoon, Grant.
Okay,
Okay.
okay, see you then.
Bye,
Thanks.
Mom.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.